I'm Dr. Rhonda Johnson, and I own a group practice that is located in Fort Worth, Texas. And we started using my best practice in October of 2025. Yes, we had been with an EHR for over 10 years. It was the only one that we had been with in that time frame. So before that, it was before cloud-based software, because we've been around for 19 years. So I've been around for a long time in the private practice and owning it. And it really became time to look for something else for a number of different reasons. One was just lack of communication and follow through and being able to have a voice with the EHR that we were with concerns that we had. One specifically had to do with payroll and making sure that we were getting accurate payroll reports for our staff that work here. Some other things were just the cost was definitely rising, and we were wanting to integrate a number of different features with the EHR. And instead, we were having to use one platform for our telehealth and one platform for the EHR and another platform for something else. And so, really wanting more integration and in a way that was affordable, something that we could do. We were also needing to make some really significant changes in our practice, and that we had been very reliant on administrative staff. And the EHR that we had did not have any good solutions when it came to online booking or being able to accept payments in a way that was affordable. It was a lot more expensive percentage wise than what we had been doing in office. And so it was just a number of different factors that piled up between needing the security and stability of being able to count on the reports, all the way to the way that we were running our office, and reminders getting to clients. And even the portal with the EHR that we were using was awful. And the clients just liked it as well as the staff because it did not work well. So we knew that we needed another option. And honestly, we made the switch in 6 weeks, which I would never do again. But our contract was coming up with the old provider, and they were year contracts. And so I knew that if we didn't make the switch, I was signing on for another year before we could make a change. And that was another big benefit of my best practice is they believe enough in their product that you're able to finish out your time with them at any point in time if you find something that works more effectively. And so we have not done that. We've obviously stayed with them, but there were so many different factors that, yes, it was a huge struggle, and I would never want to make that switch again without more planning in place of 6 weeks. But we were able to get, we do normally between 1,400 to 1,600 sessions a month, and we were able to make that switch. We would never have been able to do it without the white glove. So it still took a lot of efforts on our parts, and it was bumpy for clients in different ways, but that was more from our side than necessarily MVP, my best practice itself. So that was what sold me. Was I was at a conference when I found out about my best practice and was introduced to the white glove migration, and that was crucial. It was a critical piece that we needed to be able to make that transition as quickly as we did. There are many things. There's really not just one feature about my best practice. It is, the most cost effective that we found on the market and that I've still seen on the market with what it offers when it comes to online booking and credit card processing. And even we looked at adding a nurse practitioner and being able to integrate somebody who does medication as well, prescribing. So there are just lots of different options that come with it. And it isn't, making the price tag insurmountable as you add those options, as many of them do. We do a lot of different types of sessions. And before moving to my best practice, we really didn't have a good idea at the same of just how many families we had versus individuals, versus children. And so the reporting and the metrics have been very helpful along the way. And as we're tracking metrics each quarter with our sessions and wanting to check lots of different things. And so that's been, a huge help. With families specifically, the biggest benefit that we found that no other EHR offers is because we specialize in working with both adults and couples and children, and a little more than half or about half of our practice is minors. And those obviously come with parents, and often those families are blended families where homes have experienced divorce and there are multiple parents who are involved, whether they're step parents or whether they're biological parents or adoptive parents or whoever the guardians might be. And that has been the biggest benefit, and that you can have multiple emails attached to the portal so that it's more than one parent that's getting the notifications to know when appointments are, or that can pay on a bill, or that can get more information or send messages through the portal. And our old system, and in most others that I've seen, I haven't seen another one that allows that. It's only one email that can be attached. And so whoever initiates counseling, that parent is then able to have full access to everything, and the other parent is left in the dark, or parents. And so they have really appreciated, that piece, I think, most of all, as well as our clinicians and professionals who are employed with us, because we're able to get information from multiple different sides, and they're able to be involved in treatment. With any new software, there's going to be concerns about how do we do what we were doing in the old software and have it happen in the new software. And their team went above and beyond, giving us options and seeing different ways that we could utilize it where it would mirror what we had been doing before. Some of those have worked well for us, and some we're realizing we need to use it more of how it was intended to be used. And so we've even, continued conversation with their support, just as in, okay, we're looking at changes. What steps would we need to take? What article can you point us to, or video, or, what do they have at this point in time that would really assist us, or do they need to give us assistance in the process? And so all of that responsiveness and more knowing that you can reach out and there's actually an answer that's going to come back that is more that is personalized to you and your practice, specifically to how you do things, and that they're listening and attentive. Just another big pull for me with having 15 clinicians is that when we would schedule a meeting in the old EHR, it literally had to be scheduled on all 15 calendars. And if a time changed or a date changed, then we were having to get it moved, which shouldn't be a big deal. But when you're looking at time and resources and business and where you want to put them, all those things, end up drawing from those time and resources and being a struggle. And in my best practice, there was a feature where you could schedule a meeting, you have someone that's in charge of it, and it automatically populates onto every calendar. It can automatically shift. And so we have many meetings like that, from our staff meetings to our counselor meetings to clinical meetings. If there are meetings that we weren't planning on that all of a sudden I realize we need to do the day before, or with 24-hour notice, whatever it might be, those things are so much easier to handle now, and to make sure that everyone's aware, they can find it on their calendar. I can, say without a shadow of a doubt that our EHR is not what holds clients back from booking with us. So to go from a year and a few months ago where we didn't have any booking online to, I believe it's over 70% of our appointments now are booked online, which means our retention has improved. The number of appointments getting booked has improved.